Hi, everyone. Welcome back to God's Whispers, a place where we take the time to pause and reflect on the word of the Lord. Today I'm going to be speaking about the Gospel according to Mark, chapter 7, verses 1 through 13. And the theme of this passage is that God cares more about our heart than outward religious performances. It may sound a little strange in the beginning because it's talking about hand washing, which for us might seem like basic hygiene. But in the time of Jesus, it wasn't about cleanliness, it was about religious tradition. Let's listen. When the Pharisees with some scribes who had come from Jerusalem gathered around Jesus, they observed that some of his disciples ate their meals with unclean, that is, unwashed hands. For Pharisees, and in fact all Jews, do not eat without carefully washing their hands, keeping the tradition of the elders. And on the coming from the marketplace, they do not eat without purifying themselves. And there are many other things that have been traditionally observed: the purification of cups and jugs and kettles and beds. So the Pharisees and the scribes questioned him, "Why do your disciples not follow the tradition of the elders, but instead eat a meal with unclean hands?" He responded, "Well, did Isaiah prophesy about you hypocrites? As it is written, 'This people honors me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. In vain do they worship me, teaching as doctrines human precepts.' You disregard God's commandment, but cling to human tradition." He went on to say, "How well you have set aside the commandment of God in order to uphold your tradition. For Moses said, 'Honor your father and your mother,' and whoever curses father or mother shall die. Yet you say, if someone says to father or mother, 'Any support you may have had from me is korban,' meaning dedicated to God, you allow him to do nothing more for his father or mother. You nullify the word of God in favor of your tradition that you have handed on, and you do many such things." So Jesus notices something deeper that's happening. Over time, some traditions had become so important that they started to replace the original purpose: love of God and care for others. So when Jesus quotes Isaiah, he's not attacking tradition itself. He's pointing out that the danger of going through the motions while your heart might be elsewhere. That still exists today. It's possible to say all the right prayers, attend all the right things, check off all the boxes, but still be disconnected on the inside. Jesus isn't asking people to abandon faith practices. He's inviting them back to the why, back to relationships, back to being sincere, back to a faith that actually shapes how we love. And maybe that's what the invitation of this passage is: not to be guilted or pressured, but just to question, where is my heart right now? Because God isn't looking for a perfect performance. He's just looking for presence. So journal prompts that would go along with this would be, when do I notice myself going through the motions spiritually? And what faith practice actually helps me genuinely reconnect with God? And what would it look like today to choose sincerity over appearance? I hope that this passage was encouraging to you, and if it was, please give it a like and share it with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe so you can continue to hear God's whispers.